holding up these ham hocks here. So yeah, what was I talking about? Body for Life. I lost 30 pounds. I felt great. That was, what, around 2002. There were several pictures of me at that time because I went to some Olympic events. Cause it was right around 2002. And I went to some Olympic events. And there's lots of pictures of me, and I look at those pictures and I think, man, I didn't have a double chin. It's the funniest thing. I think that, you know, I didn't have this little lizard thing hanging on the bottom of my chin, and it makes me happy and sad at the same time. I'm happy that I was like that for a few months, and sad that I've ballooned so much now. After I did the Body for Life, you know, I kind of quit the Body for Life. I don't really remember why. I think part of it is that we decided the Body for Life was a little bit flawed because, you know, you'd lose 5 pounds in a week, but then you get those Body for Life free days. And we'd just go crazy. You know, we'd go to the local all-you-can-eat, well, not all-you-can-eat, but the local giant burger shop, you know, that, you know, you reward yourself for losing 5 pounds, so you eat 6 pounds of hamburger and pastrami. And it's kind of counterproductive, you know. And then after that, we'd go to Cold Stone and get giant Mondo ice creams, you know, because we thought we had earned it for the week. And so I don't remember exactly why, though. Could be, I mean, because we still did it and we lost weight. It just kind of died off. I'm sure it's part of that whole I'm a quitter thing. And let's see, after that I went to high school and remembered I didn't want to be on the football team because it made me feel like a loser. So I thought, what's not going to make me feel like a loser? And for some reason, I think my sister-in-law told me I should join the swim team. She was a swimmer, and so she convinced me that swimming would be a good way to fill out my PE credit and fun and exercise. And it was. I was on the swim team. I was in the junior varsity swim team for 2 years, and it was great. I don't think I actually lost any weight, but I definitely gained a lot of muscle and maintained my weight. At that time, I think I was about 260 pounds. But it was still sad. Because you see, there's a couple videos of me on the swim team, and it's frightening because I was a junior varsity swimmer, and so instead of swimming next to the big, you know, atypical muscular swimmers, I was in competition with the other junior varsity swimmers, and so it was like me, 6'2", 260 pounds, you know, big fat guy, and then next to me is some like 5'2", 100-pound kid, you know. And so you see these videos where it's just this little tiny kid next to this huge guy, and it's kind of funny. So I guess that's not the sad part. The sad part is there were lots of swimming pools that we'd go to at away meets that I couldn't get out of. I'd finish my race and I was so exhausted from swimming 50 meters or 100 meters that I couldn't get out of it. I had to wait in the pool until the next heat started. They'd jump in the water, and then it took about some of the pools that had a higher ledge to climb out of, foot or two, you know, you had to climb out of. We'd had to get 3 guys from the varsity team to grab my arms and help pull me out of the water because I was too big. I couldn't pull myself out of the water. I didn't have the strength, and I was probably 280, in between 260 and 300 pounds at that point. I love the swim team, but again, I think it did the same kind of a thing that being on a football team did as well, is that all those swimmers, those guys pound a lot of food before each meet because it really does drain you. And so I got in the habit of eating a lot of food all the time, and since I was so active, I didn't lose weight, but I maintained weight and I had muscle, and so I was like a constant furnace. I was burning all the time. I was probably eating, I don't know, 5,000 calories a day, and I didn't gain weight. I maintained because I was so active. And that's where the the bad thing starts is that my senior year I didn't swim, and I think it was historically I'm kind of a quitter, and I didn't join up on the swim team. Well, let me clarify that. I kind of quit, but I also kind of wanted to move in a different direction. There were some pretty interesting classes that I wanted to take, and swim team took like half of a day. You know, it was, you were late to first period because you were swimming, and then you'd miss fourth period because you're swimming every day. And so I decided to go in a different direction. I had a class, an outdoor recreation class that I took that's incorporated science and a bunch of other things. It was an all-day class that I decided to take. And it was a great class. It did keep me not quite as active, but still active. But that's when I really started to gain weight. I probably went up to 315, from 280 to 315 my senior year, which for me really isn't that big of a gain. And I think I maintained around 315 to 320 from when I was 18 till I was about 20, for 2 years probably. Excuse me, sorry to pop my ears. And then I ballooned up to 400 pounds in probably about 6 months. I moved out of my parents' basement and started living the bachelor life. You know, I didn't eat a home-cooked meal for 6 months. And I was living with another guy who's a big guy, and we were just lazy. And I had a pretty decent job at the time. Well, I guess I still have that job. I have I make a pretty decent amount of money for my expenses, so I have money to buy food. You know, I'm not the bachelor that can only afford ramen, so I was buying pizza and burgers and blocks of cheese and crackers, you know, and just eating that for dinner. You know, almost every day for at least a month, I probably stopped by my local grocery store, bought a block of cheese and a box of crackers, and ate that for dinner. And I ballooned right up. And, you know, talking to my dad,